School is out certainly much earlier this year, and this may have your children or grandchildren feeling stressed, anxious, or really struggling to understand what's going on. Our next guest says cooking could be the perfect tool to help you all cope and communicate through these sudden changes. Today, we welcome our great friend of the show, Allison Carver, back to Virginia this morning by Skype from her very own kitchen. She's got a recipe to share. Allison, good to see you.
Hi, good to see you. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. And we have sort of this line of your business is called A Taste of Therapy. Today, we're really digging in to tackling a conversation with the kiddos.
Yes, this is a very stressful time that everyone's going through, and I thought, what a great opportunity. Your kids are home, take them into the kitchen and have a conversation about how they're feeling about what's going on.
You know, different ages of young people, certainly the younger ones can help with an activity like this. The older ones might be able to step up their game a little bit and tackle, you know, some things on their own completely. But this is an easy one to get in the hands of younger or kind of young at heart kiddos.
Absolutely, and everybody loves peanut butter balls, so anyone's going to enjoy eating these for sure.
I see them right there on the plate there in the foreground, and of course I'm very hungry for them. You're going to take us through the steps and kind of talk us through what we should be doing while we're cooking.
Yes, so this is a simple recipe. It's only got a few ingredients. I know you guys will put the recipe up, but it's got 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter, so you're just literally going to mix all of these things together. So I'm going to put these into this bowl. You just want to use any kind of natural peanut butter. And if you have a peanut allergy, you can always substitute and use any kind of nut butter. Doesn't matter. Okay. And these are actually gluten-free, believe it or not. So I'm using coconut flour in this. So I'm going to add this in here too.
Good to know. Good to know then, Allison, that you can swap out the nut butters depending on what you may already have in the pantry, or certainly because of the potential nut allergies, if that's known to you. And then that coconut flour, for friends that are saying, like, I'm not a big fan of the flavor of coconut, does that really bring that to this recipe, or is it sort of a neutral?
It's totally neutral. You wouldn't even taste it at all. Like, if I hadn't told you it was coconut flour, you wouldn't even know it was in there.
Okay.
I know that because my children ate these yesterday, and they tell me they don't like coconut. So.
I love coconut, so either way I'd be good. But you know that's important. A lot of people are like, nope, no, thank you.
Right, that's a big bet. No, exactly. But you could also use regular flour too. I mean, we're gluten-free in our house, and that's the only reason we're using it. But you could use any kind of flour you like. And what the flour does is when you're mixing it, it actually makes it really easy to make it into a ball. It makes it into this nice doughy consistency. Plus, you can see that.
Yeah, plus I think you're getting your workout because that peanut butter can't be particularly easy to stir.
Right, exactly. So this is the first step. We added the peanut butter, the flour, and then I added some agave. You could also substitute honey or maple syrup, whatever you got on hand. And during this step, I want you to ask the kids or have a conversation about, what do they know about what's going on? I don't want this whole virus and situation to be a secret in your house, so it's important to just ask, hey, what do you know about what's going on? Let's talk about what you've heard. Let's talk about what the truth is. Let's just talk about the experience. Inviting them to have that conversation is so important.
Why is it so important, Allison? Because I think a lot of us are sort of on the fence of, you know, maybe what they don't know won't hurt them. Keeping them shielded from this might be the way that a lot of folks are going. Why is it important to ask?
Because always having conversations and talking is the fastest way to diffuse the anxiety. You know, your kids, regardless of the age, like truly, they've heard rumblings, they've heard in the news, they've heard you talking about it with your friends. They sort of already know what's happening. And I believe that by not talking about it, it feeds their fears and makes them feel like, oh, maybe this is scarier than I think or bigger than I think because I don't know all the facts. Mm-hmm. So obviously you need to be age appropriate, right? With your 6-year-old, you're going to have a different conversation than with a 16-year-old, but have the conversation nonetheless.
Okay, good insights, good insights. So we've stirred up that peanut butter and that coconut flour. What's next?
A little bit of sea salt to that to cut down the sweetness.
Okay.
And then literally what you're going to do is you're going to roll these into balls. That's step 2. Let me get my cookie sheet right back here. I have a cookie sheet that's lined with parchment paper, and we're just going to roll these into the balls.
Awesome.
And this is a fun step anybody can get involved in.
Right, so even if you, as the parent or grandparent or caregiver are, you know, working on doing all that stirring, the kids can get hands-on at this point.
Yes, and you can make them as big or small as you want, and you're just gonna roll them up just like this. It's a little bit messy, but that's what makes it fun. Now, during this step, I want you to talk specifically about the school closings.
Okay.
So I want you to ask your kids, what are some feelings you have about school closing? And anything that they report back is valid. I mean, if they're happy, talk about that. If they're sad, talk about that. Here we go.
And that's interesting, Allison, because I've had this conversation with my girls. They are younger. There's something they miss school, right? But at the same time, they're like, oh, school's out. There's something exciting. So how far do you go digging?
I think it's important to just ask them. I would make sure you don't get the answer of, oh, I feel fine, things are good, whatever, but really, truly get them to dig, like you said, a little bit deeper and ask them, okay, you feel sad? Tell me why. Tell me what it is about it that's made you feel sad.
Right. And just like when you're talking with your adult friends, when you get that answer, I'm fine, it's fine, we're all fine, clearly it's not all fine.
Clearly it's not fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. And what is it about them that's not feeling fine? And I also like to ask in this part to say something like, how is your body feeling? And that might sound strange, but if your kids are upset, their stomachs might be hurting, or they might be feeling stress in their body in a different way. So it's important to ask about that too.
We have a little less than a minute left. It looks like you're in the home stretch of the peanut butter balls.
Yeah, so then what we're going to do is once you have them all rolled up, you're going to pop them in the fridge or the freezer for about 20 minutes to get them nice and firm. And then you're going to take your dark chocolate, which I have here. For the sake of time, I won't melt it, but you're going to melt it in the microwave. And then you're just going to dip the peanut butter balls right into the chocolate. I mean, hello, chocolate and peanut butter, right? Winning combination.
It is a winning combination, and it's a good one. And you said you'll be lucky if they last. You made them yesterday, and it looks like you probably had to guard that one platter with all things important.
Yes, I did, because I knew I was going to be on with you this morning. They will be gone in 10 minutes, I'm sure.
So as you wrap up the conversation with the kids and everything comes together, you finish the recipe, is there any way that you end? What's the best way to conclude?
This is my favorite part of it, to conclude by asking, is there a way that we can celebrate your year this year at school and have a celebration at home? And I think this is important for any age, preschool, high school, any age. They can have a celebration at home with you where you make it special. Everybody gets dressed up. You make, this recipe or something fun, and you really celebrate and just, have an experience about the end of the year and do it at home.
Right, and we're still making memories. It's just maybe in a not necessarily in a way that we would have originally imagined.
Exactly, and it helps them to have that closure by the end of the year, to say, hey, this is the end of my 5th grade year. This is how we ended it. We had peanut butter balls and we played this game and we had a great time.
We had a great time with you this morning. Thank you so much, Allison. Always good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Allison has generously shared these questions and the recipe with us. We'll post that on our website later today, WTVR.com/VTM, so you can make some peanut butter balls at home, celebrate, ask these questions, and help the kids navigate through this time too. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Virginia This Morning.